London is one of the most expensive cities in the world, and today I'm going to show you how you can see this city with just $100. So welcome to London. You know, typically when I do these videos, I get more than $100 in the other country's currency, but here in the UK, my $100 is only getting me 80 British pounds. So in today's video, we're gonna show you how to travel London with just an 80 pound budget for the day. And first up, we're gonna get some coffee here. And this place we're about to show you, London is known for some pretty weird things. This thing's definitely one of them. So this coffee shop called The Attendant here in London has to be the coolest coffee shop in this entire city. We were just told by one of the workers that this space used to be an old bathroom. And these urinals here are over 130 years old. And so now you come down here and get a cup of coffee. I went with the cappuccino, came out to $4.50, but in my opinion, totally worth it since you do get such a cool experience coming down here into this 130-year-old bathroom. And it actually smells pretty good in here. They did a good job cleaning these things. So now that I'm fully caffeinated, it's time to explore more of London. So first up, we're gonna head to Big Ben, and to get there, we're gonna get there by one of the famous red double-decker buses. And to ride around unlimited on the buses here in London will cost you $6.25 for the day. You can get on and off as much as you please. So next stop, Big Ben. So as you guys know, we're all about fun facts here on the channel. Something super fascinating is that the swans here throughout all of England are owned by the Queen. So I guess that makes her the largest pet owner in the world. Didn't expect to be in the presence of royalty here so soon in London. Bow to your Royal Highness Swan, Chris.
Lord Gerald, it's an honor to be in your presence.
So we just made it here to Big Ben. This area over here is like the Times Square of London, where you have the London Eye, Big Ben, and then a bunch of other gimmicky things around here. But if it's your first time here in London, definitely gotta check out Big Ben. Also, another interesting fact about Big Ben is that nothing about it is actually called Big Ben. It was called just the Clock Tower, and then in 2012, they renamed it Elizabeth Tower. So this right here, as we know as Big Ben, is actually Elizabeth Tower. Now for lunch, when you're here in London, you gotta get some fish and chips. The place that we went to that was highly recommended is called the Laughing Halibut. And we just got our food, and holy crap. You get a full-on fish with a ton of chips. And this cost us, including our mystery drink called Iron Brew. I asked for like a traditional UK drink, she recommended this. And our meal, it came out to just over 11 pounds. So once you convert it, this was $14 for lunch. Not bad for a necessary London meal. If you are on a stricter budget, there is a convenient grocery store called Tesco, where for 3.5 pounds, you get a sandwich, a bag of chips, and even a drink. And also, with doing my $100 series, I always like to use the Big Mac Index and see how much a McDonald's Big Mac is, which in London was $5. Surprisingly, much cheaper than Switzerland and even New York City. Then for Bread's Grande Iced Coffee Index, it was $4. Not terrible. But if you do want more of that London meal, you gotta come here and get your fish and chips. Also, I'm really excited to try this Iron Brew mystery drink.
Yeah, didn't she say it was like
She didn't even know how to describe it.
Yeah, she said it was like a hangover cure.
Hangover cure, and she just said that it's like a orange potion. Wow, that's really sweet.
Oh, so you probably love it.
It tastes like candy. This kind of tastes like a dangerously good cough syrup with a lot of sugar. So that's your thing. You gotta try some Iron Brew. The fish just breaks like when you eat salmon. Yum.
Nice and crispy, flaky on the inside.
They put a ton of salt and vinegar on it, so it has a lot of flavor. Really crispy on the outside, and then fish. Really good meal. Definitely recommend this place if you're here in London. Now, even though we do have the unlimited bus pass, we are gonna take the tube now to a different part of the city, because when we were taking the bus, we had some unfortunate luck and we got stuck in so much traffic that we ended up getting off a few stops earlier and just walked the rest of the way. So now hopefully we have some better luck on the famous London Underground. To the tube. Now we just made it here to Millennium Bridge. And I highly recommend coming here to the bridge, getting a cool view of the city, but going across it to St. Paul's Cathedral. If you're looking for that typical London Instagram photo, that's my favorite one in the entire city. They have one of the red telephone booths, and then it's right on a street with a lot of buses coming by, and you have a great composition with the cathedral. And once you get your Instagram photo at St. Paul's Cathedral, I recommend going over the Millennium Bridge to the other side and going to the free Tate Museum. That's one of the cool things about London. There are so many museums that are entirely free. So let's see what this free Tate Modern Museum is all about. For a free museum, that was very impressive. It's a giant warehouse that goes up 4 stories with some really cool art. And it was very simple to get in. You didn't have to wait in line or get a ticket. You literally just walk straight through the door and you're in the museum. You know, I was talking about the misconception with Big Ben. Well, another misconception is that this right here is not actually the London Bridge. The London Bridge is just an ordinary looking bridge. This is the Tower Bridge. Something else that London is known for are these antique novelty candy shops. And right now we are about to go to one that I am so excited to check out. It is called the Sugar Sin. And shout out to producer Chris. He knows I have a sweet tooth.
Added it to the
And
itinerary
how to put
just
this
for you.
on there. Yeah, some people have a sweet tooth. I have just sweet teeth. Every single one of them. That was a good one?
That was a good one.
This is 100 pounds, not 1,000, by the way. So go easy.
We're spending the whole budget here. What do we got? 75 US left? I think we're good.
You'll sleep in the streets.
Guys, wow, that's really good. We gotta pause for a second. So I was able to get a bag of candy with a bunch of delicious sweets for only $3.50. It's a pretty good deal. I was expecting this to cost upwards of 5 US, so very satisfied with the value of my candy so far.
Who knows? We'll probably be back here tomorrow morning.
Yeah, now that I know how affordable this is, I'm definitely coming back here before we leave. And now that we have the most critical thing checked off our list to survive here in London, we should probably find a place to stay. So let's see what we can find here in London. I'm not trying to hyperbolize here. I would consider myself the closest thing to a candy sommelier that there is out there. This is probably some of the best candy I've had ever around the world. Whenever I do travel around the world, I make sure to try the local candies. This is delicious. The company is called Sugar Sin. I believe they are a Swedish candy company, and they said they're the only store in the whole UK that serves this type of specialty candy. Highly recommend. And now I really want to go to Sweden. So next up, we are about to show you what $27 per night gets you here in London. For the rest of this trip in London, we are staying at a tiny $200 per night hotel. So I'm really curious to see what $27 in a hostel gets us. We're also right next to Hyde Park in a very poshy, wealthy area. So let's see how nice this is. Wow, this place is really nice so far. Definitely the nicest hostel I've ever been to. So for $27 per night, that was actually a really good deal compared to some of the other major cities where I've done this $100 video. As you guys may have seen in New York, I stayed in a hostel that was not nearly as nice as the one I'm staying at here. There was someone sleeping in the room, but bed was comfy, there were outlets, everything you need, and you're right in the center of London. And now we are heading to do something else that's very typical that you have to do in London. Go to a pub. Cheers, boys.
Cheers.
So we just made it here to a pub, and we met up with my buddy Nathan, who lives here.
What are you saying, bro?
Is this what you guys typically do during the week? Is just come to a pub, have some Guinnesses, and hang out?
Maybe on a Friday night, Saturday, yeah.
So you don't do it during the week? It's not like you guys are all alcoholics?
No.
So the pub culture here in London is insane. We have walked by so many insane pubs with so many people. Everyone just seems like they really like to drink out here. And we just stopped by a pub where we got a $7 beer, which I am with my friend Nathan, who lives here in London. Nathan, is $7 like a typical price for a beer here?
It's like an average price for a beer here, but if you go to other parts of the UK, they would feel very ripped off, very upset. So London prices are higher,
right?
But it's average.
Yeah. Also, it is a really good beer. They let me sample a couple different ones. I get drunk off of free samples. This one is called the Levelhead. Highly recommend. It's made here in the UK and is delicious. For those of you who are traveling here to London, a pro tip: remember that they do drive on the left side of the road. Every time I cross the street, there's been a couple instances already where I've almost got hit by a British bus. And even when you're walking on the sidewalk, you're supposed to walk on the left side as well. Just so weird psychologically to remember that and look the other way. And now for dinner, with our $35 left on this budget, we are heading to a restaurant that I have been super excited to check out. It's called Flatiron, and they only have one thing on the menu. They serve steaks, that's it, and it's 12 pounds. But supposedly, they're delicious. Good morning from Hyde Park, London. Last night, staying at the hostel was actually a pretty good night's sleep. Sometimes when you book a hostel, you don't know if it's gonna be a party hostel and if a lot of people are gonna be keeping you up. The one here in London that we stayed at was a proper, polite hostel. And we have now officially completed over 24 hours here in London with still having $15 remaining. And with that 15 bucks, we're gonna try and find a cool cafe here for an English breakfast. I wonder if they just call it breakfast here. So for this English breakfast, we're gonna be going to a place that was highly recommended and looks like a hole-in-the-wall diner that you wouldn't typically go inside. But realistically, they've been around for over 40 years and supposedly serve one of the best English breakfasts in all of London. This English breakfast was a flavor bomb and a must try. After spending 24 hours in London with a $100 budget, I was quite impressed with the value I got for it. From a high quality hostel stay, transportation, free things to do, and some delicious candy. London has a ton to offer for every budget, and I highly recommend to come check it out for yourself. If you guys did enjoy this video, I have done this $100 series all over the world in places like Vietnam, Dubai, Singapore, and plenty others. So be sure to check those out and comment down below which city I should do next. See you next week.